Okay, I'm just going to go through some of the questions that most of you or a greater number of you got this wrong. Okay, so let's start with questions. Now, this is a very common question. Leaves. Here we have the same plant, same size leaves. One coated with oil on the lower surface and another coated with oil on the upper surface. What do we already know? We know that leaves have stomata. Okay, but more so on the upper side than the lower side. Okay, these have, so what should I write? These have more stomata on the under on the lower surface than the upper surface. Okay, all right. So what that means is that since the oil is the leaf with the oil that is on the lower surface will have more stomata being blocked. Right, so leaf A will have more stomata blocked by the oil. Okay, leaf B will have lesser stomata blocked by the oil. And what does this mean? What's the implication? That means leaf A will lose lesser water and leaf B will lose more to the surrounding air. Okay, because why? Because we know that stomata is where water vapor escapes. Right? We know that stomata is where water vapor escapes. Now with this, I repeat again now, let's repeat. Leaves have more stomata on the lower surface than the upper surface. We know that the stomata is where the water vapor escapes. Hence, leaf A will have more stomata blocked by the oil compared to leaf B. Leaf B will have lesser stomata blocked by the oil. Now, if you have more stomata blocked by the oil, that means you'll be losing, much lesser water compared to leaf B. Now, with this facts or with this in mind, we already know this, right? Now, what does that mean? What would the answer be? Now, look, can it be graph 1 where A becomes lesser mass than B? Well, obviously, this can't be the answer. Why? Why can't graph 1 be the answer? Because graph 1 cannot be the answer because A losing more water will make it losing lesser water will not make it lighter. Right? Losing lesser water will not make it lighter. Losing leaf A lose lesser water, therefore it will be heavier and leaf B. Right? So that's the reason why graph 1 cannot be the answer. Can it be graph 3? Okay, same thing. Here, graph B has the same reason why it cannot be the answer, and also B is gaining water, which is not possible. Okay, so now we're left with 2 and 4. So why can't it be? Here, both of them has B being lighter than A, which makes no sense. So, but why can't it be 2? Okay, because both are still losing water. Alright, and A cannot be gaining water like that. Just because you block the water doesn't mean A can be gaining its weight, right? So that means the answer will be 4. Thank you. Okay, next question which most of you got this question wrong. Force was used to push the block. Which one of the following shows the correct forces acting on the block? So you need to know 3 things here, or basically 2 things that you must know in order to be able to answer this question. Number 1 is gravity. Now, what do we already know about gravity? We know that gravity is always a pull. Okay, it's always a pull, and it's always pulling which direction? Gravity is always a downward pull. Downward pull towards the earth. Okay, that we must know. That what makes everything else on earth not fly upright, because gravity is always a downward pull towards the earth. So with that, we can see that gravity here is pulling down. We see that gravity here is pulling down. We see the 2 arrows here not showing gravity in the right direction. That means this is not the answer, and this is not the answer. Now we have 2 options to choose from, and we have a 50-50 chance of getting this question right. Okay. Next, the only difference between these 2 is the direction of friction. Now, what is friction? Can you please remember this? Friction always opposes motion. Alright, so friction always opposes the motion. So here, the force is moving this way, towards the right. Therefore, the friction cannot be towards the right. The friction must oppose the motion, must be going towards the other way, the opposite side. Therefore, this question, the answer cannot be number 1. The answer is number 2, because you see here, I draw again for you the arrow. The arrow goes this way, alright, and therefore the friction must go the opposite side. You see the word opposes, same meaning as opposite, alright. So here the answer is number 2. Simple. Thank you very much. Okay, next question where many of you got this wrong is a spring question. Okay, now first of all, this is a typical spring graph. When you look at the spring graph, the first thing that you must look at is the measurement, the axis, right? This is the load, and this is the length of the spring. So let's see what's the original length of spring P. This darker line is spring P, and at 0 grams it is 10 cm. That means that's the original length of the spring P. For spring Q is the dotted line without any load on it, 0 grams, it is at 20 mm. Okay, so let's look at the question now. Which of the following statements about these 2 springs is or are true? 8. Spring P can be stretched using less force compared to spring Q. Now let's look at spring P. If I were to put 20, let's say we were to put 20 grams on it, you can see that spring P, if I put 20 grams, it would have stretched, right? 20 grams, it would have stretched by, okay, it would have stretched by, if I put 20 grams here, the new length is 30 cm, but the original length is 10 cm. So 30, okay, 30 cm minus 20 cm, sorry, minus 10 cm, okay, it would have stretched by 20 cm. Okay, all right. This is when there's a if we were to using a 20 gram load. Okay, spring P would have stretched. Okay, spring P would have stretched by 20 centimeters. And how do we know that? It is by this calculation. Okay, 30 cm, which is the new one, minus 10 cm, which is the original length. And how about spring? How about spring Q? Let's look at spring Q. Spring Q, right, at 20 cm, okay, you can see that the new length is about 30 cm, but the original length is about 20 cm. So you would have only stretched about 10 cm, right? Only stretch about 10 cm. So because of that, oops, right? So you'll only be 10 cm. Alright, so A is correct. Spring P can be stretched using less force compared to spring Q. That is correct. So if it is correct, what I would normally do, or what I would normally ask you to, is to put a tick on it, right? Put a tick on it. Next one. Spring P could not be stretched further than 90 grams. Okay, look at what happens at 90 grams. At 90 grams, okay, spring P could not be stretched. If you put 80 grams, it's, sorry, this is wrong. Spring P could not be stretched further after 90 grams. Is it after 90 grams? No, it is not after 90 grams. It is after 80 grams. You see, after 80 grams, it cannot be stretched further. So this is wrong. So if this is wrong, you know, like what I would normally say, put a cross beside it. Alright, and then C. Spring P and spring Q both stretch 20 mm when a load of 50 grams is placed. So if you look at 50 grams, okay, what's the, how long has it, how, 20 mm. So 60 minus 10 is 50, isn't it? And this is not right because you see, 50 grams, P is 60 minus 10. Okay, whereas P, okay, spring P is 60 minus 10. Alright, whereas uh, spring Q is spring Q is 40 minus 20. Yeah. So spring Q is about 20 cm stretch. Alright, but spring P is 50 cm stretch. Right? Which makes it not right. So the answer then would be, oops, the answer then would be A only, right? Which is number 1. Okay, so the answer is number 1. Thank you.